Hello everyone and welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be reviewing a polisher from Harbor Freight. Alright, so welcome back. So today we're reviewing the Chicago Electric 6-inch dual action polisher. This is a 5.7 amp dual action polisher and the item or SKU number is 69924. This retails for $79.99, 80 bucks. The lowest price I've seen it on sale, with a coupon of course, is $49.99. That's what I paid for this. And they compare this little polisher to the Porter cable number 7424 XP, and that normally retails for $119, and that's the current price I checked. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have this already or if you have the Porter cable. If you have this and have had good or bad experience, let us know in the comments below. If you have the Porter cable and you have good or bad comments about it, let us know in the comments below. I'd like to get your feedback on what you think of either one of these two. I'm going to do a review on it. I'm going to give you my opinion, but your opinion always helps out as well. So anyway, let's open this baby up. And the purpose of this, it is a polisher for your car. You can use it for many different things, of course, but it is an random orbital polisher so that you don't get scratches into your car like a regular polisher, which only follows one track, spinning around one track. This one has a random, like my hand, like this, going randomly, so that you don't get scratches into your paint in any given pattern, which creates a swirl motion. And we'll go over all that in a minute. So let's get this baby out of the box here, and let's see what we get in the box. And it says very clearly on the box, the foam pads are not included. So let's open this up and take her out. Alright, so we have the box, put that to the side. What do we get in the box? In the box we get the instruction manuals in a nice shiny plastic. Nobody reads that, so I'll put that aside. You get a wrench and an Allen key, which I'll explain in a minute what these are for. You get a nice handle, Chicago Electric on it. And you get some extra brushes, which these you should hang on to. Just in case anything goes wrong, you can always replace the brushes. So let's get this out of its plastic. There we go. And it is variable speed. You have the speed control back here, and it tells you anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 6. There you go. So you can choose the speed that you want to go at. And the speed rating, basically, it's, like I said, 6 speed settings right there. And it runs anywhere from 2,000 to 6,400 OPM. Not RPMs, OPM, which basically is orbits per minute. And you have a 2-position handle, which means you can put it on this side, depending if you're a lefty or a righty. You can put it on this side, or you can put it on this side, whatever side is more convenient for you. So let's see, and if we screw that in, there you go. So you get to see how that fits right in there. You grab it nice and tight, and you can, do your polishing with this as you're doing that. There's a side view of it. There you go, different angles so you can see what it looks like. And the button is right here on the side. And it's a decent weight. I think it weighs like 6 pounds or something like that is what it says on there. And that sounds about right. It doesn't seem very heavy at all. You get the unit itself, the handle. Let me take this off. And you get this pad holder, let's call it, the foam pad applicator holder thing. But no pads. No pads. You have to buy the pads separately. And, to give you an understanding what this is basically an angle grinder with a weight right here, which I'll open this in a minute, I'll show you. But it's just an angle grinder that they took, they added a weight here, a counterbalance, and that's how you get the random orbital polishing that it gives you. And to take this off, to take the pad off if you need to do any kind of servicing, That's what this wrench is for. The wrench, let me get this set up here right. There is a slot back here, which, boy, it's tricky to get it so the there you go. There's a slot back here. Anyway, slot right there. You have to put the wrench in that slot. Otherwise, you'll never get the wrench in there to grab it. So in the slot is where you put the wrench, and you have to move this around until you catch the nut there. So you put it in the slot. Kind of hard to do this. Okay, you put it in the slot and you move it until you catch the nut, and then you can unscrew this off of there. And then afterward you can just put your finger in there to grab it and get it off. And there you go. That's how you get that off. Now you can see on there, that is the counterweight, and that is what causes your random orbital polishing, because it goes in a random orbit by moving that around. This unit attaches to the normal head, and that's how that does its job. So there you go. Now, if you ever need to do any servicing of this, to get this unit off of here, you need to obviously be able to get this weight and all this will come off. The way to do that is this black cover comes off. You unscrew this plastic screw right here. It's like a finger screw. Take that off. And you'll notice a hole right here. That is what this Allen key is for. There is a rounded off portion of the Allen key, which you can see right there. It's rounded off. You got a regular Allen key, and then this is rounded off. The rounded off part goes in here, and you'll catch that, and that's how it catches it, so you can hold it in place. Then you can unscrew this. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can unscrew that, and it'll come off of there, so you can take all this apart. And that way you can service the gears and stuff inside here. If you need to lubricate it, add, lubricant, grease, change the grease, whatever you need to do. So that's how you do that. This Allen key is for that. This is for taking the bottom part off of that. So let me put all this back together and we'll continue talking about it. Alright, so we got it all back together again, and again, this is the unit that you get. Like I said, the switch is here on the side. Like I said, it's the typical switch that you get with an angle grinder. Some of them have it up here. This one, they switched it down to the side here. There are other people on the internet that I have seen that will show you how to take this apart so you can move the switch to the top if it's more comfortable for you. It's a very simple process. I'm not going to do it because I'm perfectly content with it right here. But all you have to do is unscrew, there's 4 screws like an angle grinder, 4 screws around the head of the unit. You take these 4 screws off, you just separate it a little bit, twist it around, and then clamp it back together and screw them back in place. It's very, very easy to do. If you don't like holding it like this with the switch here on the side and you want to move it to the top, that's fine. Take it apart, twist it, put it back together, you're good to go. It's a very simple process. To make it easy on yourself, don't pull it too far. That way you don't pull the motor out of the brushes and you have to fight it to get it back in. Just a little bit will do, twist and push, and you're good to go. There's enough movement in there. Let's see, aside from that, like I said, it's a good little unit. It has a good long cord to it, unlike some units I've seen that are really short. It's about the same dimensions as the Porter cable one, so that's why they compare it to that. And for basically, if you get it on sale, it's half the price. So that's not too bad. That's pretty good. And being an angle grinder design, you probably get a good life out of it. Some people have said that there's not enough grease in here. I took this apart earlier before I did this to check that out, and there's plenty of grease in there. I really don't see why some people complain about that. Maybe they got a bad unit, but I took it apart. There's a lot of white grease in there, and it's really packed in good, so no problem at all. But I didn't want to go through all that doing the video. It's just not necessary. Anyway, as far as the pads go, you can get all sorts of different pads. It's a 6-inch Velcro, hooked and loop design, if you want to call it that. You can get brushes from anywhere on the internet. You can get them from chemical guys and a lot of other people. They'll sell you brushes for that. Put in the comments down below what kind of brushes you like to use when you polish your car. I'd be really interested. I went ahead and I got the brushes from Harbor Freight, the Warrior brand brushes from Harbor Freight. I grabbed a set of those three, and you can see you got three of them. They only sell three, and they're very simple brushes. They're not great. They're not horrible. They'll do the job, but I'm sure there's a lot better ones out there. Give me your comments, your opinions as to what are good or better pads, so that when these get a little worn out, I'll look into the other ones and I'll see about buying those. But for now, to get started, I went ahead with these since I didn't have a clue which one to go with. I've been doing it a different way. I'll show you in a minute. But, these three pads, the orange is the most aggressive one. This is the one that if you have really badly oxidized paint, you start off with the orange one, and this will give you the greatest cut of all. Then for your middle, when you're halfway there, when you cleaned it up as good as you want to, and you want to start bringing back the shine, you do the blue one. That's the middle cut. It's for, polishing and bringing it down to a nice glossy finish. And then to finish it up, you go with the black one. This is for the least amount of cutting, the least amount of polishing, and for wax application. So that's what these three are for. And these generally sell for about $8 a piece, something like that. And they do put them on sale. I mean, you can use a 20% off coupon if you want, or sometimes I've seen them on sale for $3, $4, something like that. So they dock them down to about half the price. So you can wait if you want to get these and get them when they're like $4 instead of paying the full price for them. So these are three options, and we'll be using that in a minute. Another thing you can do, if you have some of these pads that go on a different kind of machine, this one you don't put these pads on it. This is made to accept the hook and loop design. But I had another orbital polisher that was a very small design, shaped like a big can, and you just held it with your hands and polished your car. Very uncomfortable, inconvenient. I just started out with that one because it was cheap. It was like $10, but it's not a good design. So I decided to upgrade to this one, which you can have more control over it. And the other one had its own pad built in. So I accumulated a lot of these little pads here. Some of them came with it, and I bought some more that you put on that pad, and then it would just be applied on the machine itself. Now, I don't want to throw these away, and I don't know, maybe you guys have some of these out there. So if you have some of these and you don't want to throw them away, and they do sell these like at Walmart and other places, they do sell these so you can put them on on a machine, on a foam pad or whatever. And they do come in different things like a wool pad like this one, a spongy one. This is a different kind of sponge. This is a lamb's wool or something. I don't know, different materials. This is the wool. I think this is the wool. This is more like a microfiber. So I have 3 different grades of microfiber. And what I did, and this is a quick little tip for you, to be able to use these and continue to use them until I wear them out, because when you start using these, if you're doing a lot of polishing, they can get dirty. So you may want to do different things. You may want to jump from this to something else. So I use these as well. To be able to jump around from those to these, get yourself some foam and cut it to the same shape. Use these as a template and cut your foam to the same 6 inches, and then you put these on the foam, put a little hook and loop on the back of the foam, and you can apply it right onto there. And there you go. It won't come off. You just made use of your other pads. So that's a quick tip right there. Get yourself some nice solid foam. You want a good thick one. You want a good thick foam for this. You don't want a wimpy one, because you want to be able to put pressure on it, and you want it to hold these pads in place. And if I want to, I just take it off. You see, it's just a big pad of foam. Just take it off, swap another one of these on there, and I'm good to go. So that's a good way to take advantage of these pads if you have them already, or if you want to buy them, because they'll give you more granular fine tuning that these other pads may not. So that's a quick tip option there for you. So Put those off to the side. And also one thing you can do, Harbor Freight does sell a 8 or 12-inch pad. I forget what the next one up. This is a 6-inch, but you can take this off and put one of their bigger ones on here if you want to. If you're going to be doing a lot of polishing and you want to cover a larger area, you know, you can always put that on there. I don't know if it's very advisable to do a very large area at a time, but for people that have much more experience polishing cars than I do, you may be very good at it. You may be able to just zip on through and get it done real quick. Being an amateur, I go slowly and I see the results as I go. So let's go over the car and see how this performs. Let's put it to the test. We already know what it looks like. We already know what it seems to be like. Let's put it to the test and see how it works. Okay, so we've moved over to the hood of my Mustang, and it's freshly washed, so it's nice and clean. And I'm not going to do any polishing per se on this car because, as you can see, the finish on my paint is beautiful. You can see the reflection on there. It's fantastic. I don't need to polish anything. On the contrary, the only thing I'm going to do is put some wax on it. So I'm going to be using the black pad to apply some wax, and it is a hook and loop, you know. Just put it on there and even it out, straighten it out so it's centered on there. Put it on there. And again, select the speed that you think is best to work on. I'll show you the different speeds and how they sound off before I start applying it. One thing I will say is that I've already gone through the speeds and setting all this up. And the higher the speed you get, it does have quite a bit of vibration to it. So be ready for that. And I would say, if you don't want to have to deal with that, because it gets really tiring on the hands, use a lower speed. And, you know, like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm not going to be rushing through it, going really quickly. It's my car, so I care how it turns out, and I'm going to do the best job I can. For the pros out there, they may use this. They may use the Porter cable. Actually, there are some pros out there. I think I've seen a video by Dallas Paint and Correction, I think is the name of the channel, and he loves this. He has a couple of different ones, Porter cable and 1 or 2 of these, and he loves them. So, you know, that tells you right there, some pros do use it. So don't put in the comments, oh, it's garbage, no pros are going to use it. Some pros actually do use it. So I use the Meguiar's cleaner wax. Just gives me a beautiful finish every time I put it on. So I'm sure there's a lot of other great waxes out there. Hey, if you have some other nice wax that you think will give me a beautiful finish, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. This is a very reasonably priced wax. I've used it before, never had a problem with it. Haven't tried Mother's yet, but if you think Mother's or something else might be as good or better than Meguiar's at a reasonable price, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to try it out. In fact, if you want me to try it out on a video, let me know. I'll be happy to do that for you. I'll, you know, get a can of Mother's or something from Chemical Guys or whatever you guys want. If enough people ask for it, I'll be happy to do a video on it. So let's put a little bit here. I'm not going to do the whole entire hood for you guys because I'm sure you get bored watching it. But I'll just do a little bit here and let's apply some wax. And start off at number 1 and see how that, actually, hold on a second. Let me get the handle just to give me a little more stability on here. Be right back. Okay, so since I'm right-handed, this gives me the best stability to do this job. And always throw the cord over your shoulder so that way the cord isn't dangling and hitting the side of your car. You don't want to, by accident, scrape it, scratch it, bang it, whatever. Fortunately, I put it over my shoulder so I have a little bit of slack. But remember, I have an overhead reel that helps me to do that. And I'll show you how to make a free reel for yourself in another video. So go check that out. And you can have a free reel, you know, in your garage overhead. Makes things a whole lot easier. I don't have to bother with this cord underfoot. So let's see. Speed 1. Let's see what she does. Actually, I don't want it to fling all over the place, so I put it down on here first. Put this on here, move it around a little bit, because if you don't do that, if you put down the wax or polisher and you put it down, you're going to spray all over the place. You're going to make a huge mess. So put it down first, move it around, and then start polishing. Let's up the speed a little bit. That's number 2. Three. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'll tell you, anything you get past 3 to 4, it really vibrates like crazy to where it starts hurting your hands. So I could never envision using 5 or 6. I just can't see it. Your hands start vibrating so hard, you might lose control over it. So word of caution, I would never go beyond 3. Like you saw, 3 is pretty fast already. I'll show you again. That's one thing I hate about these switches. Sometimes they don't lock in place properly. And there you go. That's 3 right there. Four is just too much. So I would not go beyond 3. I don't really understand why you would go that fast. And you see, even these spreads, all that. So you saw there how it works. The one drawback that I don't like about this is the switch. It does tend to have a bit of a dead spot. Sometimes it won't catch, and you got to do it 2 or 3 times to get it to catch on there. I fear eventually, if I use this enough, this will become like a lot of angle grinders where the switch will just go bad. I will probably just wind up rigging it so it stays on, and then put a switch on the cable itself so I can turn it on and off over here, just like I've done with my other angle grinder. Because this is your typical angle grinder. I hate this switch design. I prefer the paddle, where you can just have a paddle on the bottom and just, hit the paddle when you're ready to go and release it. Hit it, release it. That's the best design for angle grinders. In my opinion, it's the paddle underneath it. You flip it, you go, and it's just a whole lot better. These I really hate, and see, sometimes it doesn't want to lock. So that's my one criticism. The biggest weakness of this machine, I think, is the switch. You may have a better luck with it. The first one I got, I took it back because of the dead spot. This is the second one I got, and it still has the dead spot on it. So I think that's just inherent. I think they're all going to have that dead spot. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, it's just one of those things. Just be aware of that before you go buy it. This is the weakness right here. Be prepared for it to go bad down the road at some point. If you don't care, perfectly fine. $50 versus 120 border cable. I think it's a fairly decent machine. For a homeowner, home gamer, DIYer like myself and like a lot of you guys watching, I think it's a perfectly decent machine. It'll get the job done. It's cheap, it's reasonable, gives you good control over it, and you get good reach over the car, so you have full control over the machine itself. So I'd say go ahead and get it. If you really want to go all out, get the Porter cable. If you want to save yourself some money and do the same job, get the Chicago Electric Harbor Freight one. So I hope this shows you how it works and stuff. Any comments or suggestions, criticisms, whatever, put them down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion on it. And any questions, I'll be happy to address them. So hope you enjoyed the video. Click that like and subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys back on another video. Click that bell so you get notified the next time I put out another video. Bye-bye for now.